Yeah, by Joe, let me take it to France. Diamonds hot, get it ice out again. Been through rocket, a climber, and niggas on top of these niggas not with it. Bitch, I love money all over the digits. Niggas look up to me cause I go get it. Little bitch, she assassin me, and she with it.
Okay, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be reacting to Ben Shapiro. I didn't think I'd be doing this on this channel, but I remember this video kind of going viral when he posted it, and it's is rap real music? And yeah, I think it's always great to hear Ben Shapiro talk about stupid dumb shit like this. But yeah, is rap real music? And I imagine Ben Shapiro saying that it's not. Let's get into this. Well, if anyone doesn't know who Ben Shapiro is, he's a very conservative, right-wing American political commentator. And I used to be a fan of him, like a few years ago. I kind of just got like, I bought into all the stuff he says, and I was like, yeah, all this facts and logic, and he's destroying these college students, he must be right. And then I kind of just sort of like realising that most of the stuff he says is very flawed. If anyone is a fan of Ben Shapiro, then I would recommend you go and listen to someone like Hassan Piker. I think he can break down his arguments quite well and make him, expose his stupidity in lots of his arguments. But nevertheless, I still do actually watch quite a lot of Ben Shapiro, and I'm definitely on an opposite kind of side politically to Ben Shapiro, but I still watch a lot of him because I feel like it's good just to watch stuff you disagree with, and Ben Shapiro is obviously one of the biggest conservative voices in America, and it's good to expose yourself to the other side, even if it's just to understand what they're saying, and then realise why it's wrong, but sometimes you actually agree with it, and because sometimes it's good to not just agree with everything that's on your side. So yeah, I do actually watch a lot of Ben Shapiro. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I watch quite a lot of his content. But I do disagree with him on most things, and I imagine this is definitely going to be another thing. It looks like he's actually talking to someone else here as well, which would be interesting to see someone else, arguing with him, because I don't know how, but he's probably going to destroy this person with facts and logic, because, that's what he does. So yeah, I'm interested to see what his actual take on this is.
My case against rap is, I have the musical case against rap, and then I'll get to the cultural case against rap. So the musical case...
A cultural case against rap. Okay, this will be interesting.
Against rap is that, in my view, and the view of my music theorist father who went to music school, there are three elements to music. There is harmony, there is...
it's just claiming like this knowledge from the authority. My dad actually went to music school, so I have a better understanding of music than every single person in this world. So shut the fuck up.
There is melody and there is rhythm. Okay. And rap only are three elements to music. There is harmony, there is melody, and there is rhythm. Okay. And rap only fulfills one of these, the rhythm section. That there's not a lot of melody.
Okay, so that was his father's definition of music. So a person that went to music school who's given him a definition of music, that doesn't mean that's the definition of music, but fair enough, if that's your definition, then we'll let you have your nice little safe space, we won't try and trigger you.
Melody, and there's not a lot of harmony. And thus, it is basically
Did he say there's not melody and harmony?
Rhythm section. That there's not a lot of melody, and there's not a lot of harmony. And thus, it is basically...
What? There's not melody and harmony in rap? Even if you are counting... Like, you're not counting Drake as rap, you're counting that as singing, there's still a beat. Like, rap isn't just speaking, that's poetry. Rap is poetry over a beat, essentially. So the beat has harmony and melody. What the fuck is he on about?
Effectively spoken rhythm. And so it's not actually a form...
No, spoken rhythm is poetry. Rap is spoken rhythm over a melodic and harmonic beat.
Of music, it's a form of rhythmic speaking, and thus so beyond the subjectivity of me just not enjoying rap all that much, it's what I've said before.
This is what he's done, isn't it? He doesn't like rap, so he's trying to prove with facts and logic that because I do not like it, it actually must not exist as music. It's like, just because you don't like it, it doesn't mean that it's not music. It doesn't mean you have to completely discredit rap as a kind of art form at all, just because you don't like it. Just like, have your opinion and just allow it.
Or is this not music? So tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, there's certainly melody in the beats, and even some rappers rapping/singing.
There we go.
Certainly has melody. I'm not a particularly melodic rapper myself.
That's the thing. It's like, technically, I don't know if you would call it rap, but like Drake, like if I went da 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 da, everyone knows that's God's plan. That was a melody. Na 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 na. That's melody, and that is rap music.
There are artists who sort of sing rap a lot more, but I'd certainly say in terms of the production, there's a lot of harmony and melody in there. In terms of rapping itself, obviously rapping is a different art from singing. So the focus is on the rhythm rather than on the melodies and the harmonies by intention, otherwise you'd be singing, right? I'm not too great at harmony and melody, and nobody would pay to see me on stage singing. But in terms of the lyricism and the rhythm, that's really where the skill lies. So as an art form, it's a really unique form of music in a lot of ways. One, I think, is that
this is what pisses me off, you know. Just notice the mug down here with leftist tears, and I thought Ben Shapiro's whole thing was about like unity and communication, and he doesn't want to, you know, we don't want to get triggered and all of that. He's like, I thought you wanted to have honest, open conversations with both sides, but then you have mugs with leftist tears on.
you've just got the space to express yourself. And in hip hop, you can really rap about anything. You can make a song about absolutely anything. You can make a political rap song. You can make a rap song about love or romance or any topic. Lots of genres of music, you're somewhat restricted in terms of what you can talk about and express lyrically. Whereas in hip hop, that's just totally wide open. And as I'm sure you know, people use that for a whole bunch of different things. You've got your gangster rap, you've got your positive sort of conscious rap, you've got your deep stuff. You can tell life stories, you can just share opinions on pretty much anything. And so it's really, really unique in that sense. And yeah, I think it's a little bit like, they're very different music forms, but I think it's a little bit like country in that regard, in the way that you can kind of make a song about anything, and the people who write the lyrics tend to be the same people who perform them. Whereas in genres like pop and even rock, it's not uncommon to have a separate songwriter who then provides that to the person who sings it. So with hip hop, that's
facts. It's like, you don't get ghostwriters in rap, and if you do, it's kind of like, well, what the fuck's your purpose then? Like, the talent of rap is the writing element of it, really. So if you're not writing rap, you basically have no claim to the art form.
You're really getting is the artist's own expression. So I can go away, I can write a song, and what someone's listening to is really just the mind of Zuby. Just like they can listen to this conversation, this interview, and they're getting what's going on in my mind. It's the same if they go and they listen to the lyrics of my songs. They know, okay, this is the story he's telling, this is where he's coming from.
I wonder if Ben Shapiro is actually going to change his mind at the end of this, or whether he will keep his stance, because that will be interesting. Because I don't see how he can argue against this, but he'll probably use some facts and logic to destroy this guy. Or maybe he will actually agree with him, because that could be interesting. Ben Shapiro changing his mind. I don't think I've seen that much, apart from when he got owned on the Colin Kaepernick thing on Joe Rogan. That was a great clip. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he actually changes his mind.
That's where his heart is. In terms of the music aspects to it, whether or not you...
He doesn't seem like he's in a debate right now, you know. It's like the clips you see of Ben Shapiro like destroying college students. It's like he's obviously not going to change his mind then, because it's a debate, and it's like he's not obviously, he's going to stick to his point of view and not back down. But this, he seems like he's just talking with a friend, so maybe he will actually change his mind.
Like that, and it vibes with you and you're feeling with that.
Right, I mean, that's
totally subjective.
So my other kind of artistic criticism of rap is maybe a stereotype about how rap is written. So I have this kind of theory, and it holds true across all musical form, which is that art and craft are not in opposition, but very often they seem to be placed in opposition, meaning there's, and this leads to my criticism of rock.
This is what's so fucking stupid about Ben Shapiro. I've heard him so many times on Joe Rogan talk about, well, if you're not qualified in this field, then you should not be talking about it. He's talking about it with Colin Kaepernick, and it's like, if you're not qualified in this field, you should not be talking about it. You should leave these subjects to the experts. And it's like, you're not qualified in music. Why are you talking about it? Why are you giving your opinion? It's like, you either, he's just a hypocrite, man. But it's fine for him to talk about it, but then don't discredit someone else's argument like Colin Kaepernick because he's not educated on the field of it.
Along the same lines as my criticism of rap, which was that rock was an actual degradation of skill for music from jazz, which was actually a degradation of skill from classical. That the amount of talent and work, mostly work, that you have to put into mastering a classical instrument is a lot higher than the amount of talent that and work you'd have to put into playing 3 chords in a rock song. And so when it comes to the lyrics in rap, maybe, I'm sure, part of it is because I just don't have a lot of experience listening to a lot of rap, but it seems like that there's a lot of praise that's put out for particular rappers who it seems to me are doing something that doesn't seem innately very difficult. It doesn't seem like the lyrics have exact rhyme.
That is true. There are a lot of rappers that aren't especially talented. Probably someone like Lil Pump being a prime example. He's not got much talent. Doesn't mean it's not music. It's like, it's still music. But I get what he means. There's some rappers that obviously don't have talent, but when you think of the rappers that are held in the highest regard as like the GOATs, it's just like your Eminems, your Kendricks, your J. Coles, your Jay-Z's. It's like, those people have talent. That takes work to be that good at something, and they are not just people doing something that anyone could do.
I have this criticism of even, I mean, in musical theater, this is one of my criticisms of Lin-Manuel Miranda, actually, is that he doesn't use exact rhyme enough. He uses near rhymes, and he uses sort of easier forms of rhyme very often, and stacks lyrics in order to make things sound more complex than they are. And then you watch movies about rap, and it seems like somebody just gets up on the mic and they just go. And and how much work actually goes into crafting?
Exactly, because that's a talent in itself. Being able to freestyle is a talent that takes work. That's not something that that anyone can do. If you genuinely, like, imagine if you handed me a mic and just said freestyle, I would be hopeless. But if you work on it, like the best rappers have, you become talented, and it takes work to be good at freestyling. And then it also takes work to then perfect lyrics over time and make a perfect track on itself.
A rap lyric, how much time has to go into figuring out the rhythmic scheme and the rhyme scheme, because I think that would change my opinion somewhat on how rap is constructed.
Sure, this really depends on the rapper, to be totally honest with you. There are rappers who I would totally agree do not spend much time or thought or energy in crafting what they're saying.
6ix9ine.
They just put something together, and it's a very basic rhyme scheme, and they'll just go there and it'll be quite repetitive. In terms of the content, there's not really any decent message in there. They're not telling any story. They're not using any clever wordplay or anything like that. So to me, that's what makes a bad rapper. If you were to take a great...
But then again, poetry is, I'm sure, something Ben Shapiro would love, because he's that kind of person. But it's like, then again, lots of poetry isn't masterful in its craft and its wordplay and its rhyme scheme. Lots of the best poets or single pieces of poetry are things like war poetry that just came straight from the heart, and someone was just thinking onto a page and then just writing their thoughts down, and there wasn't anything technically perfect about that, but they are still regarded as some of the best pieces of artwork to come out of that genre. So having that wordplay and that technically perfect flow and rhythm, that doesn't mean it's not good. You don't have to have that. Sometimes the message or the meaning or the intention of it can make it a good piece of art as well.
Rapper, I don't know, Nas, Eminem, Jay-Z, someone like that, whose lyrics are a lot more complex and in-depth than, I'd like to, or myself, of course, I'd like to think a lot of thought goes into it. A lot goes into it in terms of the rhythmic patterns and what you'd call the flow, which is essentially how you ride the beat. So if you've got a beat that's faster tempo, you might rap at double the speed and have you're essentially using your voice kind of like a percussive instrument. It might be more comparable to drumming, say, than to in terms of the delivery.
Right.
But then in terms of the actual lyrical content, for me, that for
it's like singing is using your voice as the kind of acoustic instrument, whereas rap is using your voice as the percussive instrument. It's replacing a part of a music ensemble, basically. And in singing, it's one kind of, is your voice filling one role, and in rap, your voice is filling another role.
Great artist, that's where the real thought comes in. And again, when it comes to hip hop, if you're making a hip hop song, average rap song probably has 8 to 10 times the amount of lyrics, if not more, as pretty much any other genre. So you've got a lot of stuff. Typically, you'll have 3 16-bar verses. So you've got a lot of space to say a lot of stuff if you want to. I mean, some artists don't say much. I like to think, in all my songs, I put a lot of thought into what I'm saying and the message I'm trying to communicate out there. And there's a lot of wordplay and a lot of metaphors and similes and just trying to do clever stuff with...
My guy's got a hunchback, hasn't he? Jesus Christ, what's that?
The writing. So, again, I think that the real answer to that is it depends on the rapper. Just like you could have somebody who does a very basic form of dance or playing an instrument, and they're just, okay, I'm going to just play the piano like that.
Finger, yeah.
Like that, versus someone who's a proper virtuoso. You do get the same thing in hip hop and with rap.
Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Wire.
Okay, so he basically got owned, but he's not going to change his mind, obviously, on video at least. And he didn't get onto the cultural bit. Where was the why rap is not music because of culture, or Ben Shapiro's issue with rap because of the culture? Because obviously his argument is, well, black people commit crime and there is 50% of the population in prison because hip-hop is actually a part of the black culture and is damaging to black people. It's like, that's such a fucking stupid take. Like, oh, there's black people in prison because hip-hop is bad. Do you not realise that more white people listen to hip hop than black people? So where's the proportion of the white people in jail from that? Yeah, the whole culture thing with rap and his whole culture argument against black people in general is a bit weird. I think there's probably just a little bit of racism in there, and I know I'll get Ben Shapiro fans coming for me for that, but just a little bit of racism in there. His whole argument is that black people are suffering because of their own culture and not because of racism, and that America isn't a systemically racist country, it's actually just black people's fault and they need to take responsibility for their own actions, because that's obviously the way oppression works, and that's how slaves did it, of course. They weren't free, they took responsibility of their own actions and they got out of slavery themselves. No, it's not the way it works. Yeah, anyway, Ben Shapiro, what an idiot. If you did enjoy this video, like it. If you agree or disagree with Ben Shapiro, let me know in the comments and we can have a little discussion, and I will see you guys in the next one.